let's move on to Streets of Rage.
Nice.
Fucking, this is get out of the way. Like, goddamn soundtrack.
Oh, man.
What bloody hell.
It is a techno dream.
It's so good. I mean, like, you said you hadn't played much of the originals, but the originals music was amazing as well.
Oh, yeah.
But this just takes that and then makes it with more modern synths and stuff. And oh, God, I could listen to that just randomly.
Yeah.
It's like, went to a club, don't need any of that shitty dance music, you get fucking Streets of Rage on.
Yeah, I agree.
The only problem is you'd have people punching each other in the crowd, but that's fine.
Yeah, you'd have to have some sort of system in place.
You could have fire-breathing fat guys, that seems to work.
What, as bouncers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And whenever you punch them, they go,
I'm still not paying £10 to come.
No, fuck that. I mean, you're getting my money for the drinks, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, Streets of Rage 4, it's been out since about April, I think, but yeah, the everything about it is so crisply done. Like, sound, like, again, the soundtrack is incredible. The gameplay, like the actual fighting and stuff, is kind of got a bit more combo-y than the originals. Like, it used to be you'd punch an enemy a few times, they'd hit away, and then you'd have to wait until they get back up to hit them. Whereas now, if you get your jumps right and your timings right, you can just keep them fucking bouncing.
Yeah.
And
we did that a few times.
Yeah, we just had them like bouncing between us, and that was amazing.
Yeah, if you can ping them, that's a really good method.
Makes it hilarious.
Like you said, with the music, is also a factor with the kind of art presentation. Is that it's like a combination of retro and new.
Yeah.
So it's very much in keeping with the old Streets of Rage, but it also has a nice polish to it.
Yeah, it's the colouring to it as well is really awesome. I always like when they get games, even when it's meant to be dark, because it's meant to be quite a seedy city they're in, but it's got that like, well, kind of cyberpunk look to it, where it's like really overly bright, saturated colours, but in a good way, and it's like neon and everything. And that always looks so much better than just gritty, boring, grey. And I'm glad we've kind of moved past that in this generation. Everything's got a lot more colourful.
Yeah. It's very visually popping.
Yeah. Yeah, it matches colours. The music and everything with it. But yeah, it's just all together, it comes together very nicely. And there's quite a lot of content in it as well. It seems a bit short because there's only 12 levels. But it's one of those games you're meant to really play over and over and over and get better at. It's got multiple difficulty modes. We played it on normal. We could probably have gone up to hard, but I remember the first time I played it by myself, playing it on normal was like crazy difficult. And then you eventually started getting better. But you played as Cherry, which is the new character they added into the series. She's really cool. She just beats people to death with her guitar. Oh. She takes axe to a whole new meaning.
Yeah. No, her ability is awesome.
Oh, yeah, when she like slides and slams and explodes everywhere. That sounded wrong.
But yeah, she's kick-ass.
Yeah, and I played as Adam, which, if I remember rightly... So, in the old ones, Adam had a son called Skate, who, amazingly, rode around on rollerblades. So,
wow, who'd have thought?
I mean, like, was the child born wearing skates? Is that why they named him that?
Just skated out.
But yeah, if I remember rightly, there's some kind of relation as well with Cherry, but I can't remember what it is. But yeah, I play as Adam, who's just an absolute beast in this one. I mean, he was in the first one. Yeah. Then annoyingly in the second one he was kidnapped, and in the third one I can't remember, but he definitely wasn't in it, I know that much.
Okay.
Then there is a fan-made Streets of Rage called Streets of Rage Remake, which I'm planning to cover probably about January time now. That I would still say is a little bit better than Streets of Rage 4, not because it's got more polish or because it's a better like design or anything, it's just the sheer amount of content. So this one's 12 missions long, then you repeat. Graphics are great, music's great, and all that jazz. The remake one takes all of the original 3 games, puts them in together, adds more levels on top, and remixes all of it, so you can take multiple paths through the whole game. It's still only like 8 missions per run through, but there's like 50 odd different pathways through the game. There's some shit in there that they chucked in like vehicle stuff, but I would love to see the team of fans that made that remake game and do something with Streets of Rage 4, because there's so much interesting stuff that could be done. Now, this was ages ago, but we did play with Dan, and the other Dan.
Oh yeah.
I live with 2 Dans, apparently. We played
Dan.
3-player. What did you think of playing it 3-player in comparison to 2?
I can't remember, to be honest.
It's been a while.
I mean, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think
almost too much going on.
Yeah, it's chaotic. I think it definitely works better to people.
Streets of Rage always was better 2-player, but yeah.
It's I mean, it's a good party game still with 3 people. But if you kind of want to, I think if you want to play it go through all the levels and with the aim of doing like a sesh,
Yeah.
I think 2 people's better.
It's better, yeah, I'd agree.
But if you're just playing it,
it's just messing about,
yeah, it's good fun with 3 people.
The only disappointing thing I found with 4 though is that the character rosters, although there's quite a lot of characters, you essentially get Axel, Blaze, Adam, Cherry, and the guy, I can't remember the name of the new character. Blazer. But
Michelle.
all the other characters you can unlock are the literal characters from the old games. So they're not updated. They're literally just the same with the pixel art, which is cool. And they've got their own abilities. But they didn't add any other new characters. And one of the old characters even has a new character model in the new game, but you can't unlock that character model. It's like, why didn't you bring that in? It's like a really nice design and everything. So they were a bit... they have mentioned that they might do DLC down the line, but the art style takes so long to make because I think it's hand-drawn or something, that it will be a long time before that comes out. So there's a few little disappointments in it that I feel they could have done. They could have just gone, here's a bit more content, because it's not that much content, because it's like 22 quid. It's not bad for the price, but like you could get a bit more out of it, I think, you know. And for something as easy as just giving another character model, it wouldn't have been that difficult.
Yeah, because in fighting games, a lot of them now, because they've got quite a lot of entries, you can play as either the new character
or the old model.
The old pixelated one or the updated, better rendered one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But overall, I mean, it's still a fantastic game, and like, I'm looking forward to mods on it. When they start coming in, I'll probably get on PC as well. But yeah, for now, I think it's very good, and like it's definitely one of the best. I'd say it's probably the best like beat 'em up game like that that's come out in years. I can't think of anything that comes close.
Yeah, and as you're saying with the music and the combination of elements like the music and the visuals give it a real kind of rhythm and drive, so you get really caught up in it.
Yeah. It's got a level of polish that you don't often see from Sega, but then again it's made by a third party, so that's why it's got more polish than you normally see from Sega. Anything else you got to say on Streets of Rage 4 before we move on?
No, I think that's about covered it.
So we have, well, we're going to leave the best 2 for last. We're going to go on to Killer Queen Black next.
Yeah.
So this is a game I picked up for £1.25 on Switch. It's basically online only, although you can play local versus. But it's a 2D not a 2D side scroller, but it's like a 2D arena fighting game where you have like 3 different ways you can win. Riding a super slow snail from one side of the screen to the other.
My personal favourite.
Of course. Who also eats people, that snail, which is a bit terrifying. Killing the Killer Queen 3 times, which we sucked at every time. And actually, did we win a single set? No, we didn't win a single set.
Yeah,
we won matches,
yeah.
Or you can store berries and fill up your hive in order to win. What did you think of Killer Queen Black?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it you can only play it for so long. I think compared to the other games, it's a bit short-winded.
Yeah. For the price, like, I mean, I think when it first came out, it's like 50. I think when it first came out, it's like 15 quid, so I wouldn't pay that. But,
I think I wouldn't pay 15 quid for it. I very much enjoyed the rotation system. And each person has a part to play. Yeah.
I liked that it's I think it's asynchronous multiplayer kind of thing. So you've each got a different target, a different goal. Only problem is when you like clearly the people who play that game play a lot, so everyone is like stupidly good.
Yeah.
When you've played it like twice, like you don't stand a chance. But it's still fun, and you get the occasional lucky hit and kill the queen, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a game that I feel the better you get at it, the more fun you will have, because then it'll become more of a sort of like challenge each time.
It strikes me as one of those games that you can pick up every now and again.
Yeah.
And it would be kind of a nice little experience. And to be fair, having to go at each of the roles gives it variety.
Yeah, it feels like I feel like I wouldn't really get bored of it as such. It would just be, I don't know, like because you're constantly switching between the three. I think that gives you enough reason to keep it from getting too stale.
Yeah, and like Rocket League, there is something quite nice about playing. I mean, I'm not really into online games, but playing against real people makes the challenge more real in a way. Because I think when it's computer, it doesn't, you're aware of it's computer. When you're playing other people, it makes it more competitive and enjoyable.
You're like, I killed another person. Like when you drive into someone in Rocket League at full power and blow them up.
Oh,
so satisfying.
Full on, blood rage moment.
Yeah.
You mean it. You're gunning for them.
Yeah, especially when you kill the Back to the Future car and you leave the little spinning license plate. I was like, but once again, this game has a damn good soundtrack. It's basically Metallica guitar all the way through.
Oh yeah, I love it. And especially, I mean, it is quite a frenetic game, but
oh yeah, it's really speedy.
Yeah, really speedy, but the kind of some of the little animations are quite cute, like when you put the berries in the hive.
Oh yeah,
and
they like wiggle their ass in and pop out.
I know the snail eats people, but it kind of looks cute.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
But then it's really funny after that you have a like. Feels like you've kind of dropped into the Bill and Ted universe or something.
Oh god, that'd be a great crossover.
Whoa, gotta get the berries in the hive, man. Yeah.
One thing I would like to do is play that in a room with 6 people. So you have both teams. That would be mental, I reckon.
Yeah.
That would be like Among Us level of ridiculous, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if you could hear people and see people on your team, you could really go into the strategy. Because one of the really good things and bad things about it is your job that you've got set in mind. You might not be able to actually do because either basically the queen can unlock these transformation booths that the workers can go in to turn into soldiers. So if the enemy queen's locked all those and your queen isn't unlocking them,
you're screwed.
It's really difficult.
That's the problem. You need everyone to know what they're doing, because if they don't, then you're pretty much buggered.
It would probably work well with a headset. I'm guessing you can.
It's got voice chat and everything.
Yeah, that would probably work better. But that's the same with Rocket League. A lot of people use voice chat. Because then they can communicate what they need doing.
Yeah, when you're playing against a team of people that are all in one room or communicating, like, you're pretty much going to be in trouble, because they can tell each other when they're lining it up and everything like that. That's something that would work with Killer Queen Black, because you can always just go, okay, cool, let's all go for this one mission and just keep fighting them off, Yeah.
And there is something enjoyable about having to kind of switch roles, I found. It's quite kind of interesting how, like, I start off with the berries, and then you do that for a little bit, and then you can see that it's not viable, so you go for the snail, and then no snail, so you end up going for the transformation booth and turn into a soldier, and then that maybe works, or I
would love to see kind of a more like a sequel to it that's more fleshed out, maybe like a single player like campaign thing or something.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you can pick it up for under $5, I reckon that game's like a proper solid, like, just quick little game like that. But yeah, it's not something it's not something really worth getting full price, because you don't get enough out of it. Unless you've played it a lot before and you just want your own copy, then yeah, sure.
Or you're really into that sort of game. I think you have to, if you really like those sort of style strategy games, then but like you said, if it's just a kind of amusing little game for 5 would be perfectly reasonable.
Exactly. Right, we'll move on to our game before last, and then we'll have our slightly bonus.
Art de Triomphe.
We'll have our slightly bonus, but not in a good way game. And then the big one.
Oh.
Ooh, you know what I'm talking about, Dan.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
So we're on to Moving Out, which... Oh, I love it.
We should probably give some context on Overcooked if people haven't
played
that.
Yes. Yes, definitely. So I'm pretty sure it's the same developer. Looking at it, it might not be. It might just be the same publisher.
Right.
But if anyone's played Overcooked, it's basically a ridiculous top-down cooking kitchen madness simulator, I guess, where you just, have to work together, but it doesn't necessarily work. Moving Out is kind of similar, but with moving stuff out of a house, and just hilarity ensues.
Oh, so much hilarity.
I think I'll start with the character select screen, because that's just good enough as it is. So I think I played as a toaster. No, you played as a toaster in a wheelchair, didn't you? A toaster wheelchair man?
I can't remember. We swapped characters a few times. There are some pretty wacky...
Some ridiculous... Oh, wait, you can have like a unicorn on your head and stuff like that.
Unicorn. I was an egg.
You were an egg. Oh, and then you could have a chicken on your head. Or is that a chicken that could have an egg on its head? It's some kind of combination with chicken and eggs.
Some sort of poultry madness going on there,
But yeah, the characters, it's just amazing. There seems to be loads of characters you can unlock. There's even DLC for like a quid that unlocks a load more. And nice. I think they come from other games. Like, have you heard of Octodad?
Yes.
You can get him as a moving character, I believe.
That's cool.
So I might have to get that.
That art style would fit as well.
Yeah, it would. Maybe it's the same developer as that, but I don't know. But the actual game is just fucking amazing. It's the fact that whenever there's a window, it will not survive more than 5 seconds.
On every single map we played, so we knew there is an objective that says don't break any windows. And we failed it every single time.
It's because you just can't resist.
You can't resist.
It's so satisfying because it's the way the characters kind of flop through the window.
And it's the breaking sound the glass makes.
Oh god! And to be fair, once you do that, you can throw furniture through it. So exactly.
It's another doorway.
Exactly. Which everything's a doorway when you're moving out. So.
I mean, it's like Overcooked in.
You have to work together to complete an objective across a single screen, I guess.
And it's very high pressure.
Oh yeah, it's very high. It's like very heavily timed and stuff.
Oh my god, I've just remembered the animal level.
The animal. Oh god. Oh god, the farm.
I thought we hadn't got to the inappropriate stage of the podcast.
There was a sheep that was humping a fence.
Yeah.
And there was a cow.
An unruly cow.
The chickens were just going insane. And I love the way you could pick them up, jump, and throw them in the back of the truck, and then they just spin.
So basically, the levels get more ridiculous each time. So you'll have water obstacles. There was like a Frogger style level, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, and you can get a little frog across as well.
Yeah, that was quite cool.
It's ones with ghosts.
Ones with ghosts. Oh, the moving furniture.
Oh,
that's more tricky.
The killer piano.
Yeah. And there's a Ferris Bueller style.
Oh yeah,
with a car that comes out the window
and then drives out the back.
That was quite cool.
Yeah, that was a good little reference actually. I enjoyed
that.
Yeah. I wonder if there'd be more references, maybe like the Shinin.
The Shinin, possibly. Yeah.
The Shinin.
You could have a maze one. Possibly.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, basically you have to get all the objects in a house out of it and into a truck. But all the objects are might be different weights, so it might require 2 of you to carry it, or are hard to fit through the door, so you have to get them out the window, and a bunch of other stuff. Then you have to get them on the truck, and then you've got to fit them on the truck, and you end up just throwing things on.
What I like about it is it's a game, a bit like Untitled Goose Game, where you can work together and there's a nice payoff. There were points where we were getting really good scores and working together. We were figuring out what's best to get out first, like the methods, the quickest routes.
I feel like if we planned it out rather than just laughing our asses off at it all the time, we probably would have done better.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But yeah, again, at the same time, there is so much fun to be had. Even down to the it's got to be deliberate that they're just having fun. That when you're driving to the different levels, you can just cause carnage.
You
then
can just plow through vehicles.
Plow through everything.
And it's the way the vehicles also plow into each other and then bounce and then fly everywhere.
So you're not the only crazy driver.
Yeah.
And that's the same with the levels.
I thought you were going to say that's the same with real life.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it's the same with the levels. Like, there is just weird stuff happening in the levels.
It's genius. But like, I always find it satisfying as well when you have to pull out an electrical, like a toaster or something, and you'll pull it and it has the cable and they just have to keep going.
Yeah.
I don't know why I find it funny every time.
Yeah, there are a lot of nice little touches.
Yeah.
And if you've played Overcooked,
you'll definitely like this.
Yeah, and you'll pick it up quite quickly because I don't know if it's so much the controls, but the kind of pace of the game.
Yeah.
If you're accustomed
Frantic.
with the franticness of Overcooked, then and it's a nice bit of challenge as well as a laugh.
I think what I liked about it as well is it's very like anyone can play it of any skill level as well, because although there is target scores you can hit, if you don't hit them and you don't finish it before those times, the level does keep going. You can just finish that level regardless, and then unlock the next one. So there's no... I mean, you unlock extra characters doing it quicker, I think, as far as I can figure out. But yeah, it doesn't punish you for struggling with the game, which is always nice when, for people who aren't necessarily as good at it, can play it like that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to play it 3 to 4 player though, because that'd be fucking amazing.
Yes. Because again, like Streets of Rage, the more people you add,
the more crazy it's going to be.
The harder it is to distribute responsibilities and
it's
communicate.
Gonna be so many broken windows.
Oh,
we can't get all 4 of us to a window at one time.
yes, yeah, definitely.
And then they need to have like a line of windows, and it'd be Blade Runner style.
That's the next reference, the Blade Runner one. Definitely.
That's true.
Yeah.
I hope I always like when when you finish a level as well. It's always a question who's going to be driving the truck.
Yeah.
One's going to be running alongside if no one's driving the truck.
Yeah. And there's occasionally funny things that.
Like popping out like the sheep.
Sheep, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely got some nice little visual comedy moments dotted throughout.
Now, we haven't completed it yet. I do wonder how long it is. But to be honest, as long as it's got maybe another quarter to it, I think I'd be happy with the length. It's just I want as much replay value from it as possible so it can just have that hilarity every time.
I think it's more replayable than some other games simply by the fact that because of the star rating you'll want to go back and do.
Yeah. Want to do them again and get better at it, sort of thing. The hilarity of it lasts forever, but eventually you can calm down and play it properly, and that's when it becomes more challenging.
And you can have hilarious moments and still end up doing quite well.
Yeah. There we go. Well, we'll quickly move on to... We're going to talk about this one for a little bit.